Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Enough channel. In this video we're going to review round 11 of AFL SuperCoach in the 2024 season. Excuse me. Of course it was going to happen when I start the video. But I guess another good round for us in the sense, 23.50, which was just outside the top 10k for the round. So I think anytime you get inside the top 10k for the round you're doing alright. And into the top 5,000 overall, so up about 1,000 spots into 4,500 essentially. So yeah, absolutely, moving in the right direction. We'll have a look at the team. So in defence, I guess the two big boys, Luke Ryan, Nick Dacos, doing the business. Probably should have slapped the VC on one of them, but wasn't sure. I thought they might cancel each other out a bit. But turns out they just both did really well. Excuse me. Dan Houston with the 77 was a bit disappointing, but, he's still averaging 110 essentially. We'll cover most of the bye rounds, so that's fine. Harry Sheasel, 119, so back to a bit of form, but he's on the bye this week. But we probably have enough cover, so there's no need to stress. Nick Martin with a 97, so I guess, he's sort of bordering on that keeper territory at 105. We're not going to panic and trade him out, but definitely one we might need to flip if we need numbers in the next few weeks. Closey with a 71, is just continuing his upward trajectory. Might be peaking in price, 67. Oh, sorry, 77's the break even, and projected at 67. So, probably a useful hold until round 14, but we're just hoping he doesn't dip too much in value. Will Graham's still out, but I think might be back soon from all accounts. And Caulfield is never mind. In the midfield, we had Caleb Sarong with a 91, which was a bit down. But after that, all pretty good. Butters with a 113. Didn't take the VC. In the end, it was the right call, but we only made an extra 6 points on Zach Merritt. Bottom with the 135, so obviously, there's a few great options here. You can probably see an even better option down the page. Walsh with the 114 is on par. Matty Rowell was a bit down with the 94. Jack Steele and Horn Francis with hundreds each. That's fine, I think, from M7, M8 at this point in the year. And then Revel 64, Fraser 76, making some good money for us, so that's all good. Max Gawn was the one we could have captained. I just thought against Rowan Marshall it might be a bit tough, but he's killed it with a 180. Tim English with around 100. I'd like a little bit more. More like his average 110. And Sweet was back, so he made us some more money. So that's about 150k now. So hopefully he can squeeze out another game before his bye next week, and then we can, use his money there. Isaac with a 94 and on the bye this week. Flanders didn't play, so originally I wanted to get Richards 100 in the team, and I sort of did a sort of flip where Wilson come up into the midfield bench and Garcia was going to be the non-player, but I sort of just caught in time that Flanders was an out. So basically just swapped Wilson back in, got his 81. So, I was pretty lucky that I was sharp enough to get onto that. But I know some people might have, duffed it and gone one player down on their forward line. Darcy and Fife, not fantastic, but, I guess we'll give Fife one more week, and then I guess, him and Sweet might end up getting, traded one up, one downs next week when they're on their bye. Darcy, he's peaked in price. You can trade him if you want. I think I'm just going to hold until I sort of work out what I'm doing with my forward line. Sexton with an 86 continues to be good. And obviously Richards, as we said, with the 100. So he's made close to 100k in 1 week, 89. So excellent return there. I think the other rookie, Sullivan, I went Revel instead with the dual position. I think he scored at 80 odd this week too. So if you've got him as well, you're cheering. Have a look at the game day. I think was it this? Yeah, so a fairly easy week. Got a silence of Jed Lamb, who I think may have. I was going to say given up, but maybe not, given the only a couple of outs across the board. Um, I guess having like a Lazaro scoring four is not ideal. Matty Roberts was a sub as well, 27. Sharp continues to score all right with an 82. What's his average? Must be. Yeah, so season average of 77. Decent for a 123k cheapie. Jackson with a 67. He might be one that comes into calculations. So break even of 75. 510. It's doable. Tom Stewart with 110, little bounce back. Sicily with 115 as well is pretty intriguing at the price. I think he's 540, and Tommy Stewart's about 480, so way down. But I know Stewart has around 14 buy. Just one to avoid. Potentially, I'll have to look at Hawthorn. Massimo with the 107 as well. That's nice. So break even of 2. So he's going to make a bit more cash for those that have held. Captain Gorn was a great call. So I don't know what's happened to the rest of the team, if I'm being honest. Like, I guess, just sort of sub performers maybe. Petrarca with a 116, Oliver with a 92, so going big on Melbourne there. And Jinby, who I haven't seen in too many teams, with that 56. Across the league, so Taz's Tarantulas carving up. Must be doing well overall too. I'll have a quick look at that. The 23.98. And then I think second best, 23.51. Doesn't say much for this league if I'm second best, but I'm sure it was just a down week. Everyone will lift next week. But VC Bont, which is pretty nice. Heaney and Grundy's okay with an 86. Hayden Young with 105. So well done for holding Hayden Young. Got Sullivan as well as the emergencies. So good use of the emergencies there, Matt. Charlie Comben with an 87. He must be a decent price now. Yes, made 140k. Good stuff. Tommy Green struggling a bit with the 78. So he's under 500k now. That's super tempting after the buy. I don't know where he fits into my midfield at the moment, but maybe just carry an extra midfielder just because I can. More with the 73. So I wasn't super convinced on him, and I don't think he's done a great deal since everyone was bringing him in. So that's all right. Dacos, Walsh, Miller. We haven't talked about 95. Had Gorn obviously. Had Jordan Dawson with 158. So that's probably the other one that I missed this week. He's bounced back. He's back up at 630k. So good one if you got on a few weeks ago. Actually, that's what I said I was going to do. I was going to look at the overall, how it's going. So we do have this one. I don't know if Matt's in here. There you go. He is. That helps. So 2,000 overall. Nice. And then a few after that. So Black Hawk Dow with 15,000. And then the Iridium as well in the top 20k, and then a bit of a drop off after that. So, for some of us, it might be the first time of having a crack, so that's fine. if you're not first timers, that's fine too. I've had seasons that have gone completely like that myself. But in the league, we've got Sandgroper still on top with a 9-1. Where am I now? We're sneaking into the top 8 with a 6-4 record. So only one with 6-4. That's interesting. So good stuff. But in terms of trades this week, I don't think I'm going to do any. I haven't really looked at the popular options. Will Dawson, interesting people cashing in on him. He's not playing this week. I guess if you're happy to use him as a enough type option, or if you're using him to flip, say, a Sexton into your forward line, I probably could get around that, but I don't need to do that. Jordan Ridley's one that I've toyed with in the past. He'll do this and people will get on, and then he won't do this again for the season. Salem at 345 is intriguing, but Melbourne, I think, have the round 14 bye if we go show. Yeah, Gawn's out, so as you can see, it's probably the toughest one for me to cover. I think I've got 20 and 20 at the moment. That's not too bad, but I guess you look at the amount of quote unquote guns I've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to cover that. Closey and Gray will probably get upgraded then. As I said, next week might be Fife and Sweet because I think I've got quite a few. I've targeted those teams because they do play, but then I'm going to come unstuck 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 missing in that week. When most people won't have 7 missing, so I think there's 600k there. That can probably get me another forward. Probably try to identify one from the teams on the bye this week, which from memory is North. I don't need memory because it's here. Brisbane, and GWS, which I don't currently have. So, there are options in terms of teams to target going into next week. It does give it a limited option, but I'm sure we can work something out. Yeah, so I guess, we're pretty well set, which is why I'm not concerned about trading. We've only got 15 left. Like I said, use 2 next week, and probably 2 around 14. That gives us 11, and we should be pretty close to full, maybe just a couple of forward upgrades, I think, to round it out. But again, it all depends on these rookies and when they're sort of done making their money. So I guess I could probably just get Richards in for Heaney. And I actually, why do I do that? Put Fraser in there. Maybe Garcia plays. I don't know. Sweet. And Graham maybe. I mean, I could even just put him on field because Caulfield's definitely not. So something like that will be the setup. Captain, vice captain options. So got Port on Thursday night against Carlton. Collingwood against the Dogs. So maybe Dacos or maybe Bonds. Let's go Dacos, I reckon. And then Fremantle, so Sarong or Ryan. Or Gawn. Although Sean Darcy will be playing, so that'll be a tough matchup. What are the other matchups? Maybe something like Saints and West Coast. Maybe Jack Steele. That'd be pretty ballsy, I think. Not too sure. I think let's go Ryan. Just a good feeling. Let's go with that. All right, so that's how the team is going into the first buys or second round of buys, I should say, for round 12. So yeah, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, as always, feel free to add them below the video. Give us a like if you enjoy the AFL content, obviously. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.